Procurement categories. Today, we will explore the 3 broad categories of procurement, focusing on public procurement and its significance in Zambia. Public procurement concerns itself with the spending of public funds on the acquisition of goods, services, and construction works by the government and other public entities. This process supports their operations in providing public goods, works, and services. For instance, the Zambian government uses public procurement to purchase essential items like medical supplies for hospitals or construction materials for building schools. Categories of public procurement. Within public procurement, there are generally 3 categories: goods, works, services. Goods. Goods encompass products or commodities necessary for the internal operation and functioning of public organizations. This includes items like office supplies, furniture, ICT equipment, and transportation. In Zambia, public organizations procure supplies essential for executing their policies and primary tasks. For example, the police force might order uniforms, or the Ministry of Health may purchase hospital beds for public hospitals. Goods are physical products that can be purchased or manufactured on request. Often, there is an element of service involved, such as when goods come assembled or installed. For instance, when the government acquires computers for schools, the supplier may also provide installation and training services. Typical examples of goods include office supplies, furniture, IT equipment, vehicles, and medical supplies. Works. The category of works encompasses public works that are built and maintained for the internal functioning of public organizations. This includes the construction and maintenance of public infrastructure, such as roads, schools, and government buildings. In Zambia, public organizations procure works for various projects, including the construction of new highways or the renovation of existing schools. This category covers civil works, including new construction, renovations, and repairs. For example, if the Zambian government decides to build a new bridge, this falls under the category of works, as it involves the construction and maintenance of public infrastructure. Services. Services refers to any object of procurement other than goods or works, involving the furnishing of labor, time, or effort. Services can be classified into 2 main categories: consulting services and non-consulting services. Consulting services are intellectual and advisory in nature. They include feasibility studies, project management, engineering services, and training. For instance, if the Zambian government hires a consulting firm to conduct a feasibility study for a new dam project, this would be classified as consulting services. Non-consulting services involve substantial manual or machine inputs. These services typically require specific methodologies to achieve their objectives. Examples include equipment maintenance, utility management, and field investigations. For instance, a Zambian municipality might contract a company to maintain streetlights, which would fall under non-consulting services. Major distinctions between goods and services. Tangible versus intangible. Goods are tangible and can be measured or inspected, while services are intangible and cannot be weighed or inspected. For instance, a government purchasing office supplies can physically inspect the products, but it cannot physically inspect a training service before it is delivered. Separation from supplier. Goods can be delivered and stored before use, while services are produced and consumed simultaneously. For example, a government may store medical supplies until needed, but a training session must occur in real time. Heterogeneity. Goods are usually uniform, while services are unique at each delivery due to varying personnel and circumstances. For instance, each training session may differ based on the participants' needs. Perishability. Services perish immediately upon delivery, whereas goods can be stored. For example, a cleaning service must be scheduled when needed, while office supplies can be stored until required. Ownership. There is no transfer of ownership with services, making it difficult to define when a service has been fulfilled. For example, a consulting firm may provide a report, but ownership of the ideas within the report does not transfer. Human involvement. Services require higher levels of human interaction, especially those carried out for people. The quality of service often depends on the behavior of both the service provider and the recipient. Immediate use versus long-term. Goods are typically purchased for immediate use, whereas services may be contracted for longer periods. For example, a government may buy office supplies for immediate use, but it might contract a security service for several months. General guidelines for government procurement. The approach to public procurement can be summarized as follows. Value for money. Purchasing should be based on achieving the best value for money, not merely the lowest price. For example, when procuring medical supplies, the government should consider quality, reliability, and total life cycle costs, not just the initial purchase price. Competition. Competition should be used to acquire goods and services unless there are compelling reasons otherwise. This helps ensure that the government gets the best deal. Clear roles and responsibilities. There should be a clear definition of roles and responsibilities among personnel involved in procurement. This includes separating the financial authority from purchasing authority to prevent conflicts of interest. Financial thresholds. Requirements above a certain financial threshold must comply with regulations on public procurement. Conflicting views on value for money. In practice, secondary objectives may influence government procurement, sometimes conflicting with the principle of best value for money. Examples of these secondary objectives include promoting national industries by limiting foreign competition, favoring foreign suppliers to acquire foreign currencies, discriminating against certain foreign products for various reasons, rewarding political supporters or well-connected firms. These practices can vary widely based on a country's legal system, culture, and organizational strategies. The 5 rights of procurement. The 5 rights of procurement are as follows. Quality. Ensuring that goods are of satisfactory quality and fit for their intended purpose. For example, specifying quality standards for medical equipment. Quantity. Ensuring sufficient quantities to meet demand while minimizing stockholding. For instance, accurately forecasting demand for office supplies. Place. Ensuring goods are delivered to the correct location, properly packaged, and transported safely. This could involve specifying delivery instructions for construction materials. Time. Delivering goods at the right time to meet demand. For example, ensuring that textbooks arrive before the school year starts. Price. Securing all of the above at a reasonable and competitive price. This involves conducting price analysis and competitive tendering to maximize value for money. This structured lecture provides a comprehensive overview of the categories of procurement, emphasizing their significance within the Zambian context.